Here we are with Dr. Filtzer. It's an awesome day here. What are we into? March. We were kind enough to get Dr. Filtzer to come on a Facebook Live. So we're real happy to have you, Dr. Filtzer. Good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you as well.
Yeah, you and I had talked a little while ago about this brand new book which you have out, which I think is amazing. Some studies on Kangen water. We wanted to tell the Enagic distributors a little bit about how they might be able to get their hands on this book. Before we jump there, though, we should talk about who you are. You have been a medical advisor to Enagic since, 2008, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We are absolutely happy to have a guy like you on board. You're Harvard trained, yes, the real place. Did a stint in the service. We both talked about that with the United States Army. And now you're currently serving at the Wound Care Center in Western Arizona Med Center.
Yeah, Western Arizona Regional Medical Center. I retired from active surgery in 2009. And I found that, not doing anything drove me crazy. So I got this job. And it's been a wonderful experience because I deal with a lot of people in need of healing, diabetic wounds, venous wounds, trauma wounds, all kinds of stuff.
Awesome.
And I also employ what I've learned about ionized water in my wound care center. The hospital has given me permission to use a Kangen water pH 2.5 because of its great antibacterial qualities in my practice.
Great. Now we know that, you've been involved with Kangen water. We're wonderfully happy to have you on board. But, as you can know, there's never really been anything done here in the States as far as independent studies. So you're kind of the first one to spearhead that project. Can you tell us, what was your impetus to get the research done for this exact book, which we're now going to market together with Enagic and yourself, where anybody can get a hold of these copies? So maybe you can give us a little background.
Well, let me start by stating that about 3.5 years ago, I met with Mr. Oshiro in France, actually, and I proposed that Enagic get involved in some basic original research studies that would show the efficacy of the water in a positive way or in whatever way it came out to be. And I was particularly interested in the antioxidant properties, the pH regulating properties, and some other properties of the water in living human tissue. And we started with living tissue cells in tissue culture because of cost issues. That was about the least expensive way to get some hard data that would be able to relate to the actual human condition using living cells. And that was our first 3 studies. And then we went on to have a human study involving 13 living volunteers. And this study was the effect of the Kangen water in exercise-induced stress modulation. That means if you drink Kangen water, does your body in exercise respond better to the stress than with simple tap water?
Right.
Those are the 4 studies that we have, and I submit that the results are, number one, accurate, because they were done at the Natural Immune Systems Laboratory in Klamath Falls, which is nationally recognized, only published in peer-reviewed publications, and has an absolute excellent reputation, so that the data that we have presented is pretty much unassailable.
Right, and that's the actual reports that you can read in your book, correct?
Yes. Well, the actual reports are not in the book. They are summarized by me because the actual reports are kind of tedious. I just left the front page bigger. The actual reports I certainly can share with others and make them available.
Sure. But one nice thing you do here in the book is you give us kind of a layman's understanding of how mitochondria works, how energy, you really break down not only the critical components of the study, but you give us some language and some things to understand better. So for a typical distributor, I think this would be a really, really helpful piece of education in their clients. How else do you see it being used?
Well, I see it being used as supporting evidence for health benefits. It is not a claim that it's going to cure any disease, this and that. But if you're saying it's an antioxidant, now you can prove it.
Right.
Putting a little probe into the beaker and looking at an ORP doesn't necessarily mean that the same thing happens in your bloodstream. Now you know it does, and that certainly is pretty important.
Okay, that's an important point. Now we've got actual proof that people can say, don't just believe me. Here's a medical doctor, number one, the medical advisor for the company goes to this independent lab, and the name of it you just told me, NIS Labs, right? Goes to the independent laboratory, they research it, blind study, and it comes out as such. And you've got a book now to prove that that's really happening.
Right.
Awesome. How else do you see it? Where else, or what's the future?
I think that any time you can put a product or something that is good for us in one way or the other on a scientific basis, and you can say that this is what you can expect and that this is what we observe, it takes it out of the realm of ambiguity. It's hard, bold fact. For example, drinking Kangen water on a regular basis and then stressing the body with exercise has a profound beneficial effect because the water improves the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. The group that took the water, exercised, had a larger elevation in the red blood cell count. It had significant elevation in the red blood cell count, whereas tap water didn't do that. Same, the immune response, the immune response to stress was subdued so that these people recovered from their aches and pains and from the stress of the exercise much better than those not. And here you go, you have a simple product like Kangen water, alkaline ionized water. All you need to do is drink that and you can actually improve your sports performance. You can actually help the body recover from that stress more rapidly. What a wonderful thing. There are no bromocryptines. There are no funny coloring agents. There's no fructose syrup and stuff in it. I'm not going to name, but you all know what athletes are told to drink. And I'll submit to you, it's not necessarily the best thing for them.
Right. So I think maybe because of you, you're gonna be responsible for getting more Enagic distributors to exercise. So that's a good point too.
Well, maybe I ought to start with myself, although improve somewhat.
Well, you've got plenty of good water to drink to improve your athletic performance. So I'll look forward to that. Hey, but I think this is a really good first shot. I'd love to talk more with you in the future. We understand there's a website coming up because I know the first question people are going to ask us are, where can I get the thing? Right now, I know that we've sold it at a couple of venues when you and I were in Vegas together at the Vegas event. So we'll make sure to keep all the Enagic distributors up to speed. How much was one copy?
Well, generally, we had asked $10 for
$10,
but
good price point.
Are willing to make, considerations. Buy more, pay less.
Of course. I think that $10 is a great price for something that really could speak at a higher level than, hi, here's a YouTube video, or I heard this, or someone said that. Now, from a reputable authority such as yourself, does a blind study with a recognized laboratory. Really, really glad to hear that you're doing this with us. We'll keep all the Enagic distributors up to speed on where they can actually pick this book up. Make sure to get as many copies as you can for your whole team. It's an awesome book, and we're just really, really proud that we have somebody of your caliber on board. So thanks for spending time with us today. You and I will look forward to doing a couple more of these videos, maybe answer some questions, maybe take some questions from people. Hey, how can I use this book? Where are you going in the future? But I'm really glad to see that you're moving forward with this, and you've been the first guy to be the tip of the spear.
Thank you very much, Don. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Filtzer. We really think the world of you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. And to everybody out there, look forward, because we're going to have additional information on Dr. Filtzer's book. I'm highly impressed with this, obviously highly impressed with Dr. Filtzer. So look forward to seeing us on a couple future Facebook Lives, and we'll let you know where you can pick this up. Take care.